Heyo! Welcome to the Team SNG Banlist Prediction video. Today we are going to be talking about the March 1st, 2021 ban list that is, well, imminent. At this point, I'd like to ask you guys, do leave us a like, leave us a comment, leave us a subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we will be having some updates to older deck profiles coming up soon. So if you've liked something you've seen on the channel and you want to see more of it, hit that subscribe button. It's ban list season. What else can I say? I got to chat about it. I do Yu-Gi tubing. So, we're going to be quite generous with this ban list. I think a lot of stuff can come off, or at least move further away from being banned, if it already is banned. Because, frankly, competitive tournaments and that are next to non-existent. So, I think that we can definitely be a little more lenient than we have been in the past. First, though, before we get too generous, let's be a little bit stingy. So, there's a couple cards here that I can see getting banned. First being VFD. The Very Fun Dragon has been around for far too long, and with Virtual World being able to turbo out not one but two so easily, it's time to go, man. That thing's done. I think we're done seeing it. I think people are sick and tired of it. We need to hit VFD, and it needs to be banned. If you're going to hit VFD because it's a splashable card that doesn't belong in a deck, we'll probably need to hit something else as well. And I think what that could get hit next will be Dragoon Engine, and the way to hit that will likely be to hit Red Eyes Fusion. Dragoon itself is far too new, and Verte Anaconda is, well, a relatively fair card. The only thing is, it being able to use Red Eyes Fusion from the deck is ridiculous. So, I could see Red Eyes Fusion getting hit to pay for Dragoons and Verte Anaconda's sin. Finally, I can totally see Konami saying, well, maybe VFD is not the problem. So let's hit Cloud Castle instead, and let's make it so VFD isn't as spammable. So if they decide not to hit VFD, I can totally see them hitting Cloud Castle instead. That does it for our banned cards. I don't really see anything else getting banned on this list. I think the big ones to hit would be the VFD and Red Eyes Fusion. And I think part of Virtual World's crime will be Cloud Castle could be an innocent bystander and get hit as well. Now, onto the limits. I also think that we need to think about hitting dinosaurs. And one of the ways that we should hit it is hitting its consistency. The deck doesn't need to be killed outright, but let's hit the consistency of it. And one of the ways that we should hit it is Miscellaneousaurus needs to go back down to 1. And while we're at it, we should also hit Fossil Dig. I know that people are going to complain about this. They're going to say Fossil Dig's not the problem. It isn't, but in a deck where so much searching goes on, maybe hitting the rota of the deck and putting it to 1 is what needs to happen, just to curb its potential. You're still running your Fossil Dig, you still can find it, but it means that you're not running 3 rotas for something that, frankly, is already relatively consistent and has enough searching involved. Now, some cards that can come to 1 from being banned. Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. It makes sense. We've got Do Re Mi coming out. We've got Metal Foes getting new support in the most recent set, Blazing Vortex. And on top of that, what is Pendulum really doing? I know it can put out 50 negates or whatever it does, but at the end of the day, it's not doing anything. It hasn't shown a whole lot competitively. Give them back Electromite, see what they can do. At this point, what's the real harm? There isn't much, considering the fact the competitive scene has been decimated by the coronavirus. Some other things that I think should get back to 1. Firewall Dragon. It's getting an errata. It makes a lot of sense. Release it back to 1 and then release the errated form in Ghosts from the Past. So that makes absolute sense to me. I also think Mirage Stalio. Come on, Salamangreat's doing nothing these days. Give him back Mirage Stalio. Give them it at 1. Don't give them more than 1, but give it back. And Thunder Dragon Colossus. I think Thunder Dragon Colossus can come back to 1 as well. It's doing nothing. You know, Thunder Dragons has been a mute point. I understand the argument that Nemesis Corridor enables Thunder Dragon Colossus in every deck, but at the same time, if you have Nemesis Corridor, he only gets 1 protection. Getting rid of Thunder Dragon Colossus is not that difficult beyond that, and there's plenty of ways to remove him without destroying him, so getting him off the field isn't as difficult as it used to be, so bring him back to 1 as well. The final card that I think that isn't archetype-based, just a generic sort of nice card to have, that we can definitely have back at 1, Heavy Storm. We released Harpy's Feather Duster. Let's have Heavy Storm back. Let's see how that does. I think that having Heavy Storm back at 1 is not going to do anything. So let's bring that back. I think this is definitely a chance for the ban list to start shrinking, and I think this is one way that we shrink it, is we get older cards that aren't going to do a thing back out there, and Heavy Storm's one of those cards. We have Dark Hole at 3, for Pete's sake. Let's have Heavy Storm back at 1. That's definitely one way of hitting Eldlich, because it puts them in jeopardy, because their back row's always at risk as well. That does it for my limits. I don't really think anything else needs moving around, but I do have some things getting released. First of all, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Nobody's going to run it at 3 anyway, so give it to us at 3. Dino Wrestler Prankertops. When was the last time anyone dropped a pank on you? It's probably been a while. And frankly, it's not going to do anything. Call by the Grave. We are so hand trap heavy in this modern format that frankly, Call by the Grave is a necessity, and frankly, we should have it at 3. And we've released some more back row hate, but let's release Harpy's Feather Duster. I honestly don't think it's going to do a massive amount, but it is going to curb some of these control decks, like Eldlich, and it does put your opponent in a tighter space if they play those back row heavy decks. As I say, Dark Hole's already at 3. Okay, Raigeki isn't, but hey, why not have Harpy's Feather Duster at 3? I just feel that evens the playing field a little more. Finally, Trickstar Light Stage. What's Trickstar doing? It's done nothing in a long time, and it's not going to do anything so long as Light Stage is at 1. Bring that back to 3. There's no harm in it being at 3 at this modern day and age. There's so many other things out there that are so much better that Light Stage really isn't going to bring Trickstar back to the meta. So let's just bring it back to 3. That does it for my ban list. I hope you guys like this. Leave in the comments what you think can come off the ban list and what you think should be going onto the ban list. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. That being said, I'd like to ask you, leave us a like, leave us a comment, leave us a subscribe. Check out some of the other stuff on the channel. I'll see you guys at the next video.